finest professional water skiers in the world. Some job, huh? But I'm not alone in this labor of love. Someplace around Lake Champion, close to the water, I hope, is our expert commentator, former world champion Wayne Grimditch. Wayne, where are you?
John, I'm over near the skiers' tent, and I'll be with you in just a moment. You know, Shreveport is a wonderful sight because of the enthusiastic spectators and the near-perfect water and wind conditions. But there's one factor they'll have to overcome this afternoon to ski well, and that's the hot and humid weather. Last year, I wasn't prepared for the heat, but this year I thought I'd consult some of the skiers and find out what they do. And Deena Brush, how do you withstand the sun and the heat?
Well, my advice is really to get yourself a good hat, and I just happen to have one here that I love to put on you.
See if it fits. All right, that fits fine. What else do you have?
Well, the other thing is I always wear a pair of sunglasses to cut on the glare, cut down the glare, and wait a minute.
You're going to loan me your own sunglasses.
My favorite pair. You can try those on.
What do you think?
That's you, Wayne. Great.
Okay, fine. I got the sunglasses and the hat. Now, I need something for the nose, or do you have anything, skin cancer and all that kind of stuff?
I don't have any sunscreen with me, but Carl has some great new stuff out.
Carl Roberge, what's the secret for the sunblock?
Well, Wayne, you know, the sun's tough out here, and you got to have something to protect your face and lips. So I got you some of my sunblock here. We heard it was your favorite color. We wanted to put a little on there for you.
That's my color, yeah.
Don't go away. We need a little on your lips here.
Okay, fine. That's enough of this. It's perfect stuff now. And Geoff, what do you have here?
Well, even someone as cool as you, Wayne, dehydrates, perspires, sweats. And what I've got here is a glass with a little ice in it.
Oh, terrific. Thank you very much. John, I seem to have all the preparation I need to withstand the heat this afternoon. Be there in a second.
Whoa, Wayne, when it really gets hot out there.
Well, what do you mean? What do I need?
Well, Wayne, you need
The Bill Parcells of water skiing. We'll be back with Wayne Grimditch a little bit later on. The Coors Light Water Ski Tour is brought to you today by Mastercraft Boat Company, a statement of excellence. By Outboards by Yamaha, expect a lot. By Ski Supreme, luxury, family, and world-class tournament ski boats. By Ford, the official power source for tour vehicles and boats. And by O'Brien Skis, built for champions like you. Right to the action. Andy Mapple is on the water. Wayne Grimditch is cooled off and ready to go.
Well, it's one way of getting cooled off. I'm not sure whether I'm ready to go, but Andy Mapple is out on the course, and it'll be interesting to see how the skiers remain cool today. In our first bracket, Andy and Bob, the co-world record holders, two of the finest technical skiers in the world. Water conditions excellent, as always, in Shreveport, Louisiana.
The boat travels down the center of the course at 36 miles an hour. We're at the 40-foot rope length right now. The skiers must negotiate the 6 buoys. The problem is we keep shortening the rope as we go along.
And that demands the skier make quicker turns and pull harder through the wakes. The reason Bob and Andy are so smooth is they work the approach to the buoy, the pre-turn so well. They get the ski on edge, forward on the ski, slows it down, grabs the handle, and he's out through the gates, and he'll move on. And first we'll see Andy now at a 37-foot rope.
37 feet is this rope length. The world record is 5 buoys at 35.5 feet. So we've got a little ways to go before we get into record territory.
And Andy's looking very smooth. A terrific turn out of 3. He's turning very close to the backside of the buoy, staying ahead in the race from buoy to buoy around number 6. And the first successful pass at a 37-foot rope.
So Bob LaPoint now, as the thousands who have lined the shores of Champion Lake know what his situation is. He must run all 6 buoys if he is to keep it going in our first semifinal.
No stranger to pressure. Bob LaPoint's got a great chance of running this pass, but he's slow coming out of number 2, and he's very late into 3, stands on the front of the ski, and it stops, and that'll complete his run. Slalom, a sudden death event, any miss or fall, and that's your score for the day. 2.5 for Bob LaPoint.
And let's watch him as he does come around 3, because that's when he's really out of it right here.
And he came in very hot to number 3, tries to stand on the ski to slow it down and make a turn, but too much on the nose, and that's it for Bob LaPoint today.
Well, like our O'Brien kite, we're off to a flying start in Shreveport, Louisiana. Andy Mapple, the winner of the first semifinal in men's slalom. we have Mike Kjellander and Carl Roberge to come. Back with more on the Coors Light Water Ski Tour.
Sometimes a little edge is all you need. That's why more and more fishermen are buying Yamaha. Whether it's the Whisper Quiet 9.9 four-stroke, the popular 3-cylinder mid-range performers, or the V6 powerhouses, Yamaha offers you a complete family of quiet, dependable fishing motors and the longest warranty in outboards. Hook up with your Yamaha dealer today.
The power slot makes it happen. It's all in the design. The power slot. It's hot. There's no other way to describe this type of action. A winner year after year after year. The power slot. Unique design, performance, good looks. The power slot by Mastercraft.
Designing and driving competition ski boats, I have more experience than any other boat company president. Combine this experience with superior craftsmanship. The result? Ski Supreme. Sierra and Sierra SS, family recreational ski boats with comfort and performance that only experience and a competitive heritage can deliver. For the Supreme experience, the new Supreme Industries.
Call 1-800-772-7875, then 7547-pound.
Thousands of spectators line the shores of Champion Lake to watch the best in the world in water skiing. And if you like profiles of some of the best water skiers in the world, pick up your monthly copy of Water Ski Magazine, because all the details of their secrets and more about the skiers can be found in that magazine. Here is one of the outstanding skiers on the tour, Mike Kjellander, as he starts his run at the 40-foot rope length.
This pairing features two skiers of similar style, like the first pairing. But when I think of Roberge and Kjellander, I think of adjectives like massive or awesome. They are two very strong and naturally athletic skiers.
A successful pass at the 40-foot length for Mike Kjellander. The defending champion on the Coors Light Water Ski Tour in men's slalom is Carl Roberge.
Carl hasn't seen the success in 1987 as he saw last year. However, he's been consistently in the semifinal brackets. He's won an event. He's also won an event in jumping. He's had a tough time trying to battle Kjellander and also Andy Mapple, who's seen phenomenal success so far in 87.
Well, as you can see by this good run, it's not that he's off in his skiing. It's simply that Kjellander and Mapple have kind of stepped it up a notch.
And Mike is definitely going to have to step up a notch here at 37-foot rope. Rope is a half a foot shorter than the width of the buoys. He comes out of one fairly well, a little slow on number 2. Down in the water, his slam dunk style looking good. Coming into 4, gets pulled out just a touch really late, and down course on 5, and just a little off the mark sends you inside of number 6 at 37 feet.
So not a perfect pass for him at 37 feet. He gets 5 buoys. Where does he get in trouble, Wayne?
Well, he came in fairly late into number 4. That's his offside. He usually doesn't lose much there, but he was way past the buoy, extremely fast into 5, and it's difficult to turn the ski when you're going so fast.
You'd have to be Superman to turn it back and get that 6th buoy. This guy at times has been Superman on the water, Carl Roberge. He knows he must beat 5 buoys at this 37-foot rope length.
Carl needs a good turn on number 2, his good side, but he gets pulled out a little bit down course very late. Poor turn on 3, and he has no hope of completing number 4. That's going to complete his effort for the afternoon. I believe probably 3.5 buoys. Now he gets only 3 at 37 feet.
We are set for the final in men's slalom. That will be coming up a little bit later from Champion Lake. Michael Kjellander, we've seen him in the final before. Andy Mapple has been there many times in the summer of '87. We're sweltering in Shreveport, the temperature in the high 90s, and the humidity not far behind. More skiing to come from Shreveport.
Performance skiing. To be good takes a lot. The right equipment, physical conditioning, mental conditioning, preparation. Information is part of the mental conditioning. Water Ski Magazine is a piece of the equipment. Instructional information on slalom, tricks, jumping, barefoot, equipment tips, kneeboarding, and all facets of recreational skiing. Water Ski, the world's leading water skiing magazine. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-874-8000 right now. Great doesn't come easy, but Water Ski Magazine does. Loaded with the hottest photography and the newest information on water skiing around the world. Get 9 big issues of Water Ski for just $12.97. Call now, 1-800-874-8000.
Along with former world champion and world record holder Wayne Grimditch, I'm John Sanders, and we are on the shores of Champion Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana. The toughest thing about being here today in this 90-degree-plus temperatures, the 90-degree-plus humidity, is finding a place to cool off. Fortunately, those who sponsored this tournament are providing that, a chance to refresh yourself. Also, there's plenty to look at. Wayne, you're certainly not an old-timer by any stretch of the imagination, but skiing and the equipment that's being sold and used today has changed dramatically.
Well, you're right, John. I am certainly not an old-timer. However, I do remember when they used wooden skis. Today, high-tech fibers, Kevlar, fiberglass, boron, all that make up the skis, and now you can find the same ski available to the consumer as Carl Roberge or Andy Mapple uses. And there's the Yamaha Wave Runners. Some fun you can have on those, John, out on the lake.
And during the down times, or the times when the water skiers are being changed on the water, there's certainly plenty to look at and to buy along the shores of Champion Lake, all part of the Coors Light Water Ski Tour. And out on the water, though, we're going to get set now for the women's jumping competition. Some of that new high-tech equipment is responsible for world record performances. We just might have one in the women's jump. Camille Duvall is first.
Well, the new honeycomb aluminum jumpers that came on the scene back in the 1970s have really eliminated any breakage problem and have sent the skiers a lot further because they can build speed to the bottom of the ramp much easier.
And a 130-foot jump for Camille Duvall. Let's review her first leap.
She comes off the end, splitting her skis a little bit. Really not a very good opening jump for Camille. Doesn't put much pressure on Deena Brush.
And in the alternating format, Deena Brush will go out. Her job is to beat 130. The way she's been jumping should be no problem.
Well, you notice the quicker snap of the legs off the end of the ramp, sending Deena Brush quite a bit further than 130 feet, and indeed it was 142 for Deena's opening jump. And you see she has released her arm sling. That's the device on her right arm that helps the skiers hold the rope in as they go off the end of the ramp. Tremendous amount of pull from the boat when you're trying to redirect your speed and energy up and out, and the boat's trying to pull you down across the water.
Alternating format, remember. So 142 is the mark to beat for Camille Duvall.
Left ski up coming into the bottom of the ramp. However, she stands up fairly well, gets a better spring, and that's going to be very close to Deena's jump.
Let's check the official distance as she had to beat 142. 143, so Camille Duvall takes over the leadership in women's jump, and back we will go once again to Deena Brush. But first, let's review the jump of Camille Duvall.
Well, a terrific comeback from her opening leap of only 130 feet. Camille really digging in on the cut, left ski coming up across the wake, but there her skis were not too split, indicating a better spring.
Deena Brush back on the water. 143 is the distance she must beat.
And Deena really hits a beauty, legs straight off the end of the ramp, very close to her world record buoy. You'll have to wait and see. And it is a world record of 154 feet for Deena Brush.
1 foot better than her former record. It looked for a moment like Deena wasn't going to be able to ski away, but she put it all together and has the world record.
Well, it was amazing to me, John, because I thought she'd made a little mistake on her cut to the ramp, a little shallow at the start, slipped out on the ramp a little, so I think she really has a 160-foot jump within her capabilities. There you saw her skis go towards the crowd, not quite square off the end, so she made a few mistakes and jumped the world record. Pretty impressive.
That's what they came to see at Champion Lake. Deena Brush with a world record of 154, but we're not finished yet because Camille Duvall will try to put one together as she goes back on the water.
And you can bet that she is charged up. Adrenaline is surging. She will bite off a pretty healthy cut here. digging in, accelerating across the wake, 50, 55 miles per hour off the end, but she's too far back. Skis are very wide, not the spring. That's far short of 154.
So the record and the championship now belong to Deena Brush. The winner is with Wayne Grimditch.
Deena, fantastic jump, 154, two world records in the same year.
Boy, I don't know what to say.
Well, you've got a big smile, and that's well-deserved.
I went out there because I knew yesterday after Camille and I both jumped 145 that she was going to definitely push it to the limit, and I expected her even to go over the record. She had fire, and I'm just glad that I could go out there and do it here in Shreveport.
Well, both of you ski with a lot of fire, and I've been so impressed with women's jumping through the year. Everyone I can think of has set a personal best. It's been a terrific year for you, certainly. Congratulations again.
Thanks, Wayne. I just want to say that with the style that women's jump goes out in, the format, that it's really pushing the jump distances. And somebody will probably go 160 next year.
And it just might be her. She's shown her versatility. Roberge, you've seen him in jump, you've seen him in slalom, and here on his kidder skis, he showed us that he can also handle the tricks. We have more water skiing coming up from Shreveport, Louisiana, and Champion Lake on the Coors Light Water Ski Tour.
This new Thunderbird intercooled turbo coupe is powered by one of the most technically sophisticated engines available. Enough said. This is the new Thunderbird intercooled turbo coupe.
Have you driven aboard lately?
Hey, Deena, high output skiing, huh?
Yeah, Corey, H.O.
H.O., high output fun, and a few world records.
Along with former three-time world champion Wayne Grimditch, I'm John Sanders, and you're watching the Coors Light Water Ski Tour, specifically the Ford Tournament of Champions, from Champion Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana, where it's a scorcher. Here's the Wave Runner. This is one way to stay cool, a little vehicle out on the water.
Well, the Yamaha vehicle is great for the water, but the skiers today are going to try to stay cool so they'll have a chance of winning another type of vehicle. A Ford Aerostar van goes to the top male and female overall prize money winner at the last tour stop. And they're roomy enough, John, so you can get your long-distance jumpers in there as well as pull a boat.
Absolutely. The girl is not included. The Aerostar van's converted by Lorraine Motor Coach, specifically designed for the boating enthusiast. So in addition to the additional prize money this year on the Coors Light Water Ski Tour, there's a little something at the end of the rainbow to go with the pot of gold that you can win as a professional water skier in 1987. Yes, it's still very, very hot here. So let's get back out on the water. The final in the men's slalom. First up at the 40-foot rope length, the powerful young man from Sweden, Mike Kjellander.
And to simply characterize this matchup, we have the strength of Kjellander versus the skill or technique of Andy Mapple. This is a pairing that's becoming very familiar in the final.
No problem for Mike Kjellander. A perfect run. He completes all 6 buoys at 40 feet. Back out on the water, it's Andy Mapple with his 40-foot run. He is so smooth, he makes it look so easy.
The boat speed is a constant 36 miles an hour. The Ford 351 cubic inch engine allows the driver to maintain that constant speed while Andy attempts to negotiate the course. He'll pull up to 500 to 700 pounds of pressure at this rope length. At shorter rope lengths, up to 1,000 pounds of pressure. So although he's lean, he's very strong, and both these skiers can make radical turns.
An excellent run for Andy Mapple as he stays with Mike Kjellander in this men's final in the slalom. A close-up look now at his technique.
And you'll get a good idea of the acceleration, deceleration in slalom. Slowing down, coming in the buoy, accelerating across both wakes, and then edge change. Constantly on an edge, never on a flat ski. Andy making it look very smooth. He can turn equally well on both sides of the course.
So we will take an additional 3 feet now off the length of the rope. 37 feet. Back the other way comes Mike Kjellander. It really gets tough now.
And it's tough because the rope is a half a foot shorter than the width of the skier turn buoys. Mike Kjellander needs a tremendous number 1, and he gets it. Good turn pulled through the wakes. He grabs a lot of angle on buoys 1, 3, and 5, and he's able to hold that angle right through the wakes early for number 4. A slow turn, but he's on his good side here, and he's going to make a complete pass at 37 feet.
And that will put him on target then to make a run at the world record. That is the world record 5 buoys at 35.5 feet. But before he can even think about that, we have to go back out on the water and pick up the run of Andy Mapple, because he will be next. An excellent run, though, by Mike Kjellander.
And what you'll see from Andy Mapple are more symmetrical turns on both sides of the course. Similar quick turns on the left side of your screen and on the right side of your screen. Watch his pre-turn. That's the key to his success. Getting the ski on edge, bending his knees, and getting forward on the ski. Right here on number 3 is offside, but a good turn coming into his good side, and another good turn into his good side early for 5, but slack rope on 5, barely outside of number 6. Can he hang on to the rope? And he loses the rope out through the gates. He'll not be able to continue. We'll wait for the judge's call as to whether he gets 5.5 or 6 buoys at 37 feet.
You saw the handle just pop out of his hand. You must clear those exit buoys for it to be a completed run. He could not quite do that, but it was a great run by Andy Mapple.
Andy looked to be a little narrow coming into 5, didn't get forward on the ski, consequently had a slow turn, came extremely late into 6, tried to get out through the gates, but too much slack rope, couldn't hang on.
So he will be credited with 6 buoys on that run. However, he will not continue because he did not ski away. Mike Kjellander now must come back at the world record length, and he must get at least a quarter buoy to become the official champion. Of course, the other thing that he's got a chance to do here is set a new world record.
And this is the very place where Bob LaPoint set his world record of 5 buoys at a 35.5-foot line. Kjellander winning the event right there, gets a good 1, coming into 2 fairly well. A little down course, pulling very long into 3, and you can see the tremendous loads of pressure on the skier as he turns number 3, getting stretched out completely. But a fabulous run for Mike Kjellander, 3 buoys at the world record rope length.
Champion Lake has seen world records in men's slalom previously. It's not to be this afternoon, but make no mistake about it, Kjellander was outstanding all the way through the men's slalom competition, especially here as he challenged going deep into the course at 35.5 feet.
At this angle, you get a great idea of the slim margins of getting around the buoy when the rope is 2 feet shorter than the width of the slalom course.
Wayne is with our winner in men's slalom.
Mike, congratulations. Your first win on the Coors Light Tour. You really settled down after the semis.
Yeah, I felt a bit nervy in the first round, well, the semi-finals, and, well, like you said, I settled down a bit, and I tried to ski 1 buoy at a time and not try to run the whole course at once, so that really helped me out.
Well, your style has always been powered, but you looked extraordinarily smooth. The technique was on in the last round, and 3 buoys at the world record rope length. Terrific.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. My slalom's been coming on strong. I had a couple of seconds behind Andy Mapple, and now finally I beat him, and he feels great.
Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot.
Mike Kjellander should feel great. He's the champion here in Shreveport, beating Andy Mapple with Carl Roberge, Bob LaPoint, Mike Hazlewood there as well. Mapple has won so much this year, but it was not to be today.
Andy, you had a tremendous amount of slack rope to hang on to, and I noticed you really gave it a good effort. What happened?
I tried hard. I knew I had a lot of slack, but tried as hard as I could, and then my hands just gave out. I guess it bent a little bit, then my hands gave out.
Bent a little bit, yeah, I would say so. How's the body? All right? Didn't pull anything?
No, I'm fine.
Well, listen, you've had a tremendous year. Congratulations on that. A little disappointed this afternoon, but you looked terrific, and the crowd enjoyed it.
Thanks, Wayne. I enjoyed it. Thanks.
We're enjoying it as well in Champion Lake, and we're going to go up into the air. The freestyle jumping competition is coming up when we continue from Champion Lake.
When you're going for it, go with Hydroslide, the hottest kneeboard around. Hydroslide has advanced design features to let you do things you've never done on the water before. The beveled rails give you sharper turns, and the double tunnels underneath add increased stability, giving you the confidence to try the most radical maneuvers. When you go for it, go with the leader, Hydroslide.
I love the sand and the sea. The palm trees are here for me, and you know that I'm not lying. Everything's first rate in the Sunshine State.
Let a Florida budget rent-a-car show you all the Sunshine State has to offer. Call your travel agent or budget, 800-527-7000.
Gonna get where you are in a Florida's budget rent-a-car.
The spectators here at Champion Lake are learning a lot by watching the professionals on the Coors Light Water Ski Tour, but take a little more time and pick up Water Ski Magazine, because there are tips from all of these professionals, training techniques, things that will make all of your skiing better. And coming up next, an event, Wayne, that people are going to flip over.
Well, this is another way to enjoy recreational activity on the lake, is to pick up a hydro slide. We're seeing the hydro slide flip off. Two competitors going head-to-head, seeing how long it takes them to do 20 flips across the wake. There are 2 passes, 10 flips each, and the aggregate score will determine the winner. In other words, the lowest time. First competitor looking like he's getting some good spring off the top of the wake.
This first competitor is Kent McMillan. He's 24 years old. He owns his own surf shop. His job is to flip himself crazy out there and try to do it more often than his opponent. So the first run of Kent McMillan completed earlier. The other competitor is Bob Owens. Now, Bob is 28, and he's from Springfield Lake, Ohio.
Now, even though they're on their knees and a Velcro strap across it to keep them one with the board, they can spring a little bit with their legs and also their back to give them elevation to perform the rotation. Bob looks like he's traveling less laterally, which is allowing him to perform these maneuvers more quickly.
But not quite quick enough, because Kent McMillan from Greensboro, North Carolina is the winner in the hydro slide flip-off. Bob Owens finishes second. Coming up next, we're going to be flipping up in the air. It is the freestyle jumping, Wayne.
In the freestyle competition, all competitors will go by the ramp 4 times. 3 of those jumps will go towards their final score. Each individual jump is scored by 3 factors: form plus distance times the degree of difficulty. Judges out on the score, 5 of them will determine the form score. First skier out on the water is Scotty Clack, the defending champion, 3 times the Coors Light Tour champion, wrapped for a Mobius. That's a full twisting back somersault. He'll kick, flip, and twist all at the same time. A beautiful maneuver for Scott Clack.
But this is not going to be the same Scotty Clack that we've seen in the past. He had a bad crash in yesterday's round, and he's really kind of just going to take it easy today, Wayne.
He's conceded the competition, really. He's out there to clear his mind. His approach today is cautious and controlled.
Dave Dotter will be the next up. He has on 2 skis. He's also wrapped for the Mobius.
Same maneuver that Scott Clack began with. The key here is not to slip out when you're trying to spring off the end, and Dave gets an excellent clean Mobius for him. 443 points, a great opener for Dave Dotter.
You know, Wayne, I'm always amazed because these jumpers have to be thinking about doing about 3 different things all at the same time.
Not only that, they seem at times to be oblivious to the dangers that are ever present. You notice, however, they're wearing full wetsuits, heavily padded around the rib cage to protect just in case things go off.
Mike Tolzmann from Middleton, Wisconsin, 24 years old. He was second in freestyle jumping last year. A good 1-ski flip for him.
It was a fabulous 1-ski flip. He came right off, good extension, does it with bent knees and spots the landing. That'll score very big, as it did, 590-some points for Mike Tolzmann.
So back to the water we go. Dave Reinhart, wrapped, 2 skis. You know that means Mobius.
Yes, you can see the rope behind his back, again, spinning, flipping, twisting all the way to the water, and he lands not quite as far as we've seen him do a Mobius before, but it's a solid opener.
Scotty Clack will be next. Scotty admitted before the start of this competition that he's really not going to be a factor today. He's trying to get himself back together, and he's going to go with a 1-ski gainer.
And he has some difficulty on the ramp, slipping out, but as you mentioned, he's just trying to get settled in from a very difficult fall in the preliminaries. Difficult to balance yourself on 2 skis over the ramp surface, which is slick as ice. Scotty has some difficulty on 1 today because of his bad fall yesterday, slipping out, but landing and skiing away.
Here is Dave Dotter, 1 ski.
Once again, position so vital at the base of the ramp. You have to resist the boat pull, but still be square over the ski and not on an edge as you hit the ramp. 605 points for Dave Dotter, so that's a good scoring trick for him.
And it puts some pressure on Mike Tolzmann. Tolzmann had a good first jump. Let's see what he can do with his gainer.
And Mike has had difficulty in the past slipping out on the one ski gainer, but not today. Kicks it, good spin in the air. Knees are bent, doesn't do it in the layout style like Scotty, but he's more consistent with bending his knees, resisting to pull the rope and still trying to stay square over the ski, spots the landing, and skis away. He's the one who introduced the one ski maneuvers earlier in the year in Orlando, and everyone else has picked up on them and doing them quite well.
So now it is back to Dave Reinhart. He will be on one ski with his gainer, and it's a nice one.
It's a tremendous spring off the end. That's over 100 feet, and that's some good scoring points. 685 on a one ski gainer. Tremendous for Dave Reinhart, and he's been the one that's been pushing Scott Clack this year. Tolzmann last year ended Scotty's string of 17 straight victories. This year, Reinhart has placed second to Scott in 4 straight tournaments.
And Scotty Clack not in contention here in Shreveport. He is finished for the afternoon as far as his freestyle jumping is concerned. And it has come down now to Dotter, Tolzmann, and Reinhart. And it is Dotter back on the water once again.
Now he is swinging outside the boat. This allows him to generate speed to the bottom of the ramp. Speed will help you gain distance. That's one of the factors in scoring. Form, distance, and degree of difficulty. He's wrapped. He's going to try a one ski. Mobius comes around very close. Never completed before in a competition. Gutsy effort by Dave Dotter. Wrapped, cutting towards the ramp on one ski. Like we saw earlier, he was on 2 and performed it and comes up just a little short. Very difficult to control your body position when you're wrapped and sliding up the ramp.
He was pretty close, though, just slightly on the edge when he landed. Had he hit that one, he certainly would have been in contention to win this championship. But as it is, we're going to go back now to the double front. We've seen him try it many times, and he's never quite completed it. Mike Tolzmann, though, very close to 1,700 points for his total in the freestyle jumping this afternoon.
All these skiers are daredevils, and as we mentioned before, they just seem to ignore the perils in front of them, and he has injured himself on this many a time, broken ribs, but he comes back and comes very close, almost hangs on and skis away.
So now it is up to Reinhart once again with a chance to win this competition.
And Dave has a nice landing. Those 2 one ski maneuvers, the front where he set a new distance record, and that back gainer scoring him very well today, and he's going to walk away with the top honors.
He'll also have the honor of having the highest point total in freestyle jumping in the history of the tour. That's 1767, is 2 points ahead of the old mark that was set by Scotty Clack. A tremendous turnaround for a young man who suffered a terrible eye injury during the winter. He's fought back from that. He's skiing basically with one eye. Well, he is definitely a factor in freestyle jumping. As he comes to shore, Wayne Grimditch is down there to meet the winner of our freestyle jumping competition.
Sensational round, a new record of 125 feet on the one ski flip. Fantastic.
I was out there and Mike was doing great. And I said to my girlfriend, I got to go for this one. It's the only way I can come out ahead. I knew Mike was going to try that double front. And I was praying that he wouldn't.
Well, you know, you've made such a huge improvement over last year. Did you do a lot of training in the wintertime?
Well, as you know, I hurt my eye over the winter. So for 4 months, I wasn't allowed to lift anything over 4 pounds, get my head below my waist, sneeze, cough. It was really restricted, so I stayed in bed for 4 months, December to April.
So the spring and early summer is you pulled everything together in a short period of time. It was really an unbelievable performance today.
Thank you very much, Wayne.
Truly an unbelievable performance by Dave Reinhart, the winner in the men's freestyle competition here at Champion Lake, Shreveport, Louisiana. There are the results, but don't go away. A lot more still to come as we continue on the 1987 Coors Light Water Ski Tour.
O'Brien skis, built for champions, like World Trick Champion Judy McClintock, World Jump Champion Geoff Carrington, World Slalom record holder Andy Mapple, and World Slalom Champion Camille Duvall. O'Brien skis, built for champions like you.
This is the new shape of tough, the 87 big Ford pickup. And to prove its toughness and power, we're going to haul this Chevy up this monster mountain of boulders while towing this Dodge. And this year, a GMC pickup, too. This aerodynamic Ford has the biggest V8 engine and a multi-port fuel-injected 6 standard. And there's more news. Now, there's a 6-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty on all 87 Ford-like trucks. The best-built American truck, 7 years running, built Ford Tough.
Behind every Ski Supreme is a boat company president with over 25 years' experience in designing and driving competition ski boats, Carlos Maceo. The result is the Ski Supreme and 10th Anniversary Special Edition, the new standards in competition ski boats. In family and recreational ski boats, the Sierra and Sierra SS offer comfort and performance that only experience can deliver. For the Supreme experience, the new Supreme Industries. Call 1-800-772-7875, then 7547-POUND.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
One of the 4 semifinalists in the women's slalom competition is 23-year-old Jennifer Leachman, originally from Parkersburg, West Virginia. She now lives in Orlando, Florida. How does she focus for this competition?
What I've really tried to focus on, I think works best for me, is I go out against a blank field. I kind of prefer to go first. I try not to think about who I ski against because I know that I have enough stuff to beat them, and I try to ski against myself, trying to pull out, you know, better than average or average performance for myself, feeling that that would be enough to win, you know, day in and day out on the tour.
So you like to apply the pressure rather than know what you have to do before you go out?
Yeah, I seem to be performing better in the position going first and setting the pace rather than having to perform a certain performance.
That's where we find her here in the semifinal against Susi Graham. Jennifer at the 43-foot rope length will go first. She's got the size. She's 6 feet tall. She uses that to her advantage.
She sure does. At 6 feet, she's got a lot of stretch to help her maneuver around the buoys. Watch as she approaches the buoy, she extends, essentially giving her more rope to get around, and that affords her to make a little slower turns, perhaps, than some of the shorter skiers.
Successfully completing her run at the 43-foot rope length, and as she likes to do, going out first. So she will now wait while Susi Graham from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada takes the course.
Well, here's a very exciting skier. Susi Graham, she set a new Canadian record, has performed some of the best first and second round performances of all the skiers, including Camille Duvall. She perhaps loses her concentration if she gets into the finals, but she's getting tougher and tougher with more experience, a very solid and strong skier.
She is pushing Jennifer Leachman right now. The length of the rope has been reduced now to 40 feet. So even though Jennifer likes to go first, she's got to put it together on this run.
She sure does, and she's behind from the start, comes into number 2 or offside, where she usually gets good turn and pulls long to number 3 and slides, skips by number 3.
So she will not get credit for number 3. She'll get credit for 2 buoys at 40 feet.
Jennifer had difficulty at the first buoy, perhaps not on the front of the ski, and slowed down enough to execute a turn. She's late coming to number 2, an expression of desperation perhaps on her face, knowing that she's very, very late for 3, pulling with all her might, but slides by and inside of the 3rd buoy.
So Susi Graham, whose best finish this year is 3rd, has a chance to move into the finals if she can complete the 3 buoys at the 40-foot rope length.
Well, she's got a terrific chance because number 2 is her good side, and she pulls well out of number 2 and ekes around 3 and almost to number 4. Susi Graham, very good through the wake, sometimes has technical difficulties around the buoy, but she's able to regain angle and really fight for everything through the wakes.
Susi Graham has won a spot in the final. Will it be against Deena Brush or Camille Duvall? Well, first out on the water is Deena Brush, 43 feet, the length of this rope, the 27-year-old from Windermere, Florida, who makes it look so easy.
She sure does. She made it look very easy in the jumping this afternoon. Her edge is in the jumping over Camille, and Camille has a slight edge in slalom. However, Deena is very good technically, and if she works buoys number 2 and 4, it's going to be tough for Camille.
Do you think there's any chance that she could lose some concentration because of the world record she had earlier?
I don't think so. I think she's going to be right on top of it and very confident to take on Deena Brush this afternoon.
Well, that's not easy, as we all know, because Camille Duvall is almost unbeatable in women's slalom. 43 feet, the length of the rope here as she starts her run.
And as she goes through the course, she'll be constantly monitoring the water conditions at each buoy, thinking back about that and trying to make adjustments for further runs. This is not a given, but it's pretty certain that she's going to make her way through here. And now it'll get progressively tougher on the next pass because the rope is shorter, making it more difficult to reach the buoys.
We will take another 3 feet off the length of that rope, but Deena Brush is back up and ready to go on the course.
Watch how closely she turns the backside of the buoy. It'll give a good indication of whether she's early or late. When you're late, you're narrow and you have to delay your turn, and she's very late coming into number 4. Get some slack rope, and that'll complete her run. Remember, the boat's going at constant speed of 34 miles per hour. The driver is able to hold that speed because of the Ford 351 cubic inch engine. And if Deena makes any mistake, the boat doesn't wait for you, and there, lots of speed, slack rope results, and she has no hope of getting to the next buoy.
So Camille Duvall now at 40 feet. She must do at least 4 1/4 in order to move into the final this afternoon.
And watch for an excellent turn around number 2. Very well done. Comes into 4, good side, and gets a tremendous hook turn on 5. And she will advance into the final in quite some good skiing style.
So Camille Duvall will move on to meet Susi Graham for the championship in women's slalom here at Champion Lake, Shreveport, Louisiana. 4 1/2 her official total.
Right foot forward skiers like Camille find it easier to turn on buoys 2 and 4 because of the natural hip alignment and stance on the ski. Around 5 and into the finals.
And we're going to speed ahead into those finals, led by Scott Peloton, sponsored by Eagle Wetsuits and Gucci Sunglasses. He's hot-footing it here on Champion Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana. Next up, the final in the women's slalom competition as we continue with the Coors Light Water Ski Tour for 1987.
Hi. I've been looking all over for this terrific video cassette I heard about. It's called Not So Great Moments in Sports. Like one scene is where Billy Martin tries to give an ump a shoe shine.
That's a fantastic video. Not So Great Moments is 45 minutes of the funniest sports footage I've ever seen.
Great, so you have it.
No, it's not in video stores yet. But you get Not So Great Moments free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. You get 25 weeks of America's best sports coverage, including the Pro Football Spectacular and the beautiful swimsuit issue. You even get a handy NFL schedule.
And Not So Great Moments in Sports?
You get it all.
How do I get it?
Just call Sports Illustrated's toll-free number.
Yeah, I'll bet they raised the price of the magazine, right?
It's over 47% off the cover price. Just 3 installments of $9.89 each. You can even put it on a credit card.
I gotta get to a phone. What's that number again?
Here, 1-800-621-8000.
Hi, have you heard of Not So Great Moments in Sports?
Again, only 40...
Along with Wayne Grimditch, I'm John Sanders, and a large crowd at Champion Lake trying to stay cool. Out on the water staying cool is Camille Duvall. The final of the women's slalom is underway. The length of the rope is 43 feet.
This is a rematch of last year's final in Shreveport. Camille against Susi Graham. Camille coming out on top. Last year, both injured. This year, relatively healthy. And you can see that as she pulls with ease across the wakes. These two skiers are perhaps the 2 strongest in the women's slalom event.
No doubt about Camille Duvall, because she demonstrates that week after week. She finds her way into the winner's circle. Susi Graham has to be a big underdog going into this final. She also mentally has to know what she's up against.
She has to be mentally up, focused, concentrated, and very aggressive in order to have a chance today against Camille. Susi has a little bit of a lunging style at the buoy. Inherent in that is a possibility of getting too deep, but she recovers well and quickly around the buoy and has a tremendous pull through the wakes. A little slack, not quite as smooth as Camille, but Camille knows she has no chance of letting up.
And Camille back now at the 40-foot rope length. Would you rather go in front of Camille or behind her, or does it make any difference when you're up against a skier of this caliber?
I think I'd like to go out second, so I know exactly what I have to do and make adjustments accordingly. Camille coming into number 3, looking fairly good. Notice how quickly she gets back on the ski and away from the boat when she grabs the handle, beginning the acceleration, uses the wake as a reference point to change her edge and slow down, and a tremendous pass at 40 feet. Really, and she's happy about it. So is her mom, Diane Duvall, there along with the crowd enjoying the slalom action.
So Susie Graham, who is going second, has had to sit and watch. She has watched her complete the run at 40 feet. You talk about pressure. Now it's all up to Susie.
We'll see how Susie copes with the pressure on number 1, and not well. She has the handle way up high, very late into 2. 1.5 buoys, and Camille Duvall just too tough once again for the women in the slalom event.
She does. She puts so much pressure on you. In other words, Susie knew going in that she had to be perfect. One mistake, and it was all over.
It was all over because she carried too much speed into number 1, couldn't get slowed down and make a turn. She needed to turn more quickly or get the ski slower before executing the turn.
Nobody has been able to slow down Camille Duvall in women's slalom. Her name right at the top of the list once again at Champion Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana. Susie Graham gets the second, then Deena Brush is third. The champion once again, Camille Duvall. Camille is standing by now with Wayne Grimditch.
Camille, you've withstood another challenge, once again proving your dominance in this event. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. This is my very favorite place to ski, and I knew if I had a chance to break the record, it was going to be here this year. And unfortunately, in the first round, I didn't ski as well, but I thought I had a chance, and I had a really good one at 38. And I just got a little over anxious into 2 and just got the rope too soon, but maybe next year.
Well, I get the feeling watching you from shore that you don't let anything faze you. A bad start, a slow turn. What's your thinking when that happens?
Well, actually, if I get a good start, I tend to ski too easily. So if I get a bad start, I know I have to stay on top of things and keep working hard. So that's just, I tend to be a little bit lazy, let's put it that way.
Well, listen, will you lose sometime because I'm running out of questions to ask you?
No.
She's probably right. Doesn't look like she's going to lose. We'll continue from Champion Lake. Men's distance jumping next.
The power slot makes it happen. It's all in the design. The power slot. It's hot. There's no other way to describe this type of action. A winner year after year after year. The power slot. Unique design, performance, good looks. The power slot by Mastercraft.
Sometimes a little edge is all you need. That's why more and more fishermen are buying Yamaha. Whether it's the whisper quiet 9.9 four-stroke, the popular 3-cylinder mid-range performers, or the V6 powerhouses, Yamaha offers you a complete family of quiet, dependable fishing motors and the longest warranty in outboards. Hook up with your Yamaha dealer today.
From Champion Lake in Shreveport, I'm John Sanders. Welcome back to the Coors Light Water Ski Tour. Wayne Grimditch held the world record in our next event for 7 years. So, Wayne, I guess the men's distance jumping has to be your favorite, right?
It was my favorite event to participate in as well as observe. I still get a kick out of riding the boat and watching these guys hurl themselves off a 6-foot ramp, hitting the ramp at 65, 70 miles per hour. And Carl Roberge will show what it takes to go upwards to 180 to 200 feet on his first crack at the ramp.
Carl Roberge, his personal best, 195 feet.
We saw his skis slip out towards the camera, indicating a bad body position at the base of the ramp. Could have his left shoulder down a little bit more square, and he would have gotten a little better spring off the top. You'll notice all the skiers are wearing an arm sling. That's a device that keeps their right arm close to their side, helping them keep the rope in and control their jump.
Of course, you know that Carl Roberge is not happy with 179, so he's back once again trying to wind it up and get more distance.
And he needs to come alive off the top of the ramp, and he does, to put some pressure on the rest of the field, being the first out on the water. Much better jump for Carl Roberge. You can see how much higher, 192 in distance, but he was well up over 22 feet in altitude. Cutting across the wake, jumping the wake a little bit, regains his position, kicks it, still slides out a little bit, but a much better extension And a good leap for Carl, 192, sliding on his back, but he stands up and skis out past the right out buoy.
That is only 1 foot off his personal best. Geoff Carrington is ready to go by. Part of the Australian contingent. They like to help each other on the tour, help each other with their jumping. We asked him about that.
Oh, it is for sure. You know, like, we're all great friends. The whole Australian team, we work together. We're not jealous of each other. We help each other out any time. And we've got a great camaraderie, probably equivalent to the, it seems to me, like the Swedes in the tennis. You know, they're all good, but they don't seem to hold any animosity or that towards each other, and they don't, not jealous of everyone else's performances on the team. And it's great. You know, we've been skiing with each other for so long now. We notice little things, little minute things that are going wrong that no one else can, and we don't hesitate to tell the other person, and we can be frank with each other, and it certainly helps all of us.
He's talking about people like Glenn Thurlow. We will see him jumping later. Also Daryl Moore, whom we've seen before, but he's got to get some distance on his jump now.
And he'll have to be close to his own personal record of 194 to move into the lead this afternoon. A dynamite kind of skier, Geoff Carrington, can really explode with an excellent spring off the top of the ramp. Watch his body position. This is so critical. The skier stands up at the base of the ramp. Looks like he stood up a little early and got jammed as he came off the end, and he'll have to make some corrections, stand up a little bit later to get a good spring off the end.
He'll try to make those corrections right now as he's back on top of the water, looking to get out there at 192, where Carl Roberge is currently standing with the lead.
And once again, not a good position at the base of the ramp. Right shoulder down a little bit, sliding out towards the crowd. Obviously, his body reaction indicating he's dissatisfied with that jump.
So Carrington's best for the afternoon is 184. That's not good enough. Here's the current world record holder, Mike Hazlewood. Mike, now 29 years old. He is from England, 203 feet. That is his world mark.
And if there was one word to describe this skier, that's power. A powerful cut to the base of the ramp, lots of speed, and he's off the end like a shot out of a gun. Hard landing, stands up and skis away. That's a good opening leap for Hazlewood.
It is indeed. 187 feet for Mike Hazlewood. Let's go back and take another look. How is he different in his technique from other jumpers?
Mike approaches the ramp in a more compact position and sits back a little bit more, and he gets a resisting type spring off the end. Not the quick snap of the legs of a Thurlow or Sammy Duvall, but of course, he's gone further than Thurlow and Sammy Duvall and has a world record of 203.
But today, not as far as Carl Roberge. He needs to find another 6 feet of distance out there on the waters of Lake Champion. Here he comes.
And he's really digging in on the last jump, but off the end, skis are wide, not the spring or the speed of his best leap of 187.
Mike Hazlewood probably slowed somewhat by the fact that he has had some cramp problems out there in the water. But the leader at this point is Carl Roberge with a jump of 192. Sammy Duvall and Glenn Thurlow still to come at Champion Lake.
So his longest jump that we saw from Mike Hazlewood is 187.
This new Thunderbird intercooled turbo coupe is powered by one of the most technically sophisticated engines available. Enough said. This is the new Thunderbird intercooled turbo coupe.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Designing and driving competition ski boats, I have more experience than any other boat company president. Combine this experience with superior craftsmanship. The result, Ski Supreme. Sierra and Sierra SS, family recreational ski boats with comfort and performance that only experience and a competitive heritage can deliver. For the Supreme experience, the new Supreme Industries.
Call 1-800-772-7875, then 7547-pound.
This is ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
As always, tremendous crowds at Champion Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana for the Coors Light Water Ski Tour, and they've seen some outstanding performances, not only in the past, but of course, world record type performances today. And we still have a couple of jumpers remaining in our men's distance competition. On the scene with her camera to focus on her husband, Sammy Duvall, is Sue Duvall. Here is Sammy back after missing some action because of an injury.
But don't for a minute count Sammy Duvall out. He's proven to deal with pressure in any event
evidenced by his 3 world overall titles. He's got to fight the temptation not to cut as hard as Hazlewood and do more work off the end of the ramp, and he gets a good spring. Even though his skis are fairly spread, he gets his knees straight and comes off the end in a good opening leap of 188 feet.
That will put him in 2nd position. Keep the tape on that one, Sue, because it's a good start for Sammy. Let's go back and take another look at Sammy. That wide open way that he comes off the ramp with his skis is kind of a trademark of his, isn't it?
Yes, it's a little unusual. It's sort of a natural position for his skis as he kicks off the end. He does miss a little spring. He gets his legs straight, so he's got a lot left.
But Sammy Duvall still needs a few more feet if he's going to catch our leader. Carl Roberge, the first jumper out today, went 192. Here's Sammy.
And off the end again, a better extension. Ski is a little bit closer. The big key is his position at the bottom of the ramp. His arms were in a little bit better. His back not so bent over. Flies off the wake. Now that takes away from speed and positioning, but he collects himself just in time, stands up, and rides out a nice jump.
2 feet short of Carl Roberge. So Sammy Duvall is now in 2nd. Congratulations from his sister and his wife, and 1 more jumper remains, Glenn Thurlow.
The only other man in the world to go over 200 feet, like Hazlewood. He has jumped over 200 twice. Yesterday he went 200. See if he can match that this afternoon. Up over the skis, a beautiful aerodynamic position he assumes in the air, but he's well short of the 192.
187 is the opening jump of Glenn Thurlow. Thurlow, 31 years old, now lives in Winter Haven, another one of the Australian contingent.
You notice Glenn was sitting a little bit back before the bottom of the ramp, and the skis slid out. It's such a fine line for being right over and square over your skis and able to get a good pop off the end. Digging in very hard for his last attempt at the ramp, arms a little bit stretched, and being stretched, I think he overcompensated and once again sitting too far back upon impact.
185 for Glenn Thurlow's final jump. That means that our first jumper of the day, Carl Roberge, put that 192 on the board. That stands up. He's the winner, standing by with Wayne.
Well, congratulations, Carl. It was a long wait having been first out. 192 was difficult for people out there today.
It was, Wayne. The conditions today seemed a little bit tougher than yesterday in the semifinals, and going out first today, seeing everybody jump as far as they did yesterday, I was really pushing myself hard to get into the 90s and close to 200, and went real hard, and I was a little bit disappointed after I came in, but I guess it's a little tougher today than it was yesterday, and I'm really happy now.
What about the rest of the skiers? Carrington, Thurlow, Sammy having problems. Were they pressing too hard?
No, I think today just the conditions were a little bit different than yesterday, and it was a lot harder to go farther, so you just had to work a little bit harder, and I think everybody just went a little bit less.
Okay, congratulations again. Terrific effort.
Thank you, Wayne.
Carl Roberge, one of the hot skiers here at Champion Lake in Shreveport, Louisiana. Our thanks to Ken Hanna and his staff. Always do a great job when the Coors Light Water Ski Tour comes to Shreveport. Yeah, we expected hot weather. We got it. It was scorching off the water and on the water as well. And really turning up the flames, this world record performance by Deena Brush, 154 feet in the women's jump. The Coors Light Water Ski Tour has been sponsored by Mastercraft Boat Company, a statement of excellence. By Outboards by Yamaha, expect a lot. By the Radisson Hotel of Shreveport, the newest luxury hotel in Shreveport, formerly the Regency. By Ford, the official power source for tour vehicles and boats. And by O'Brien Skis, built for champions like you. This has been a Carmody Enterprises production.